Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here going to be running our rail up the hill up to the mine and hopefully getting in our first run up there if all goes well. One never knows exactly how fast rail gets laid in, but we are going to try to get that in there so we can get some more loads delivered. I think we're just going to go ahead and use groundwork 2 just to make sure that we get across there, keeping it flat. We don't really need to do much here. Not gonna go down with it, I don't think. We're just gonna go straight across. Something like that's gonna work fine. Yeah, wait, there we go. Put a little bit of a curve in that. Sweet. Alright, that will work. Then we are going to fly. I think we'll go in. We will do this with Bridgework. Going up to the iron mine, we're going to use Iron Bridge. Don't know if we should start climbing in here or not is the big debate. Is at what point do you start climbing? We know we have a huge long uphill. Yeah, we're gonna clear right there just fine. Not quite right there though. We'll bring this out a little bit. Should be able to just go with one piece all the way to there. Try to keep the pieces down. Run the splines out a little bit longer if we can or where we can. Some of that's going to get adjusted as we cut down trees. Most of the time, honestly, way down there. So, a little bit of a different path here that will be taken. I always seem to find a little bit of a different path every time you go through here, no matter how many times you go through here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That should do a fairly decent job opening this up. Good to go. Nice thing nowadays, getting up in the air, so much easier than it used to be. You had to find these routes on the ground. It was much more challenging. Alright, if we go something like that, it should be fine. We're going to have curves in this route. That is unavoidable. So we're not going to worry about that. We're not really going to worry about grade. Whatever it comes out to is what it comes out to. Though we already have a rough idea, you know, 3%, 2.5%, 3%, you can make it up this if you, depending on how you want to go. Are we going to be up here is way too high, right? Yeah, we're not going to be up there. We're going to be somewhere down here. And really, we don't want to go up that high, because I just as soon come across this. Somewhere remotely low. That way it actually will attach. I suppose what we could do is turn around and come in here and start getting rid of some of the trees. This is kind of a fixed point in the run. We are going to go straight across the gorge. If we have to use the trestle legless bridge, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are just going to go straight across this thing. Not going to mess around doing the horseshoe. We could, obviously, last time we did this, we came all the way around the horseshoe. It does give you a lot more time to lay tracks, so you can make a lot more gradual grade going up the hill, but that is not how this railroad is going to work. This one is going to be, if we need a bigger locomotive, we can already afford at least a bigger locomotive than Betsy, so one way or another we'll get it up the hill. You gone? Yeah, you're gone. You just don't know it yet. So we do know we're going to come in somewhere here from over there. Which honestly makes me almost think I should just put in a footing somewhere right in here, because we know that's where it's going to be. Or where we want it to be. Problem is it's really low. And usually you want to be up a little bit higher by here. Trying to think of the easy way to get it to where we want it. The easy way to get it to where we want it is just keep going around the thing. But I suppose worst case scenario, we could always, there's easy ways around it. I'm probably making it harder than it needs to be. Might take that one out because I think we curled. Yeah, we can run back, I guess. Let's see. We'll try it first. Don't like the way it looks, we'll just take it out of there. Wait a minute. I don't think I grabbed the right bridge even. Bridge. Yeah, that's wooden trestle. We don't want wooden trestle. Wait a minute. Were we already doing that then? I bet I did that with wood. Yep. Shoot. I totally did. Yeah, I guess we could run wood. We'll run wood up until the trestle, and then we'll switch over to steel because it's going to get tall at some point. Guess we don't really need and then we'll just switch. No, we're not going to switch the type of bridge. Shoot. Not yet. We've just switched the angle of the bridge, though. Make it around this one last curve. Because really we want it to be curving back the other way, so something like that maybe. Don't like really how that's floating out there, but we'll just see how well it works. Alright, so that's as much angle as we're getting out of it. Right there, which sadly is going to barely get us to where we want to be. Hopefully that's gonna work. It's just kind of a wing it in there guess, I guess. Sort of. If it works out, it'll be great. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out. Sort of almost worked out convenient if it works. So we're gonna try it. I'm always for it. Things don't have to be perfect. They just have to work for now. Alright. Gun. Let's just get rid of these for pure. They're just too close. Okay, we'll get rid of these. Same. Cool. You go away. We'll get rid of you. Alright. Now, here we will check just to check. Probably too high to actually get this to run across here. Yep. Certainly are. Where are we going to come out, though? Two ways we could do this. We could always run one lower set and then turn around and change this. Wow, that is really going to be low. Uh-oh. That might be too low. Like, we actually may have to legitimately go back and alter that, because if we go straight across, we're gonna go right into the, I don't think we have a way around that. We could try to go straight across to here and then see if we can get up on the incline. We'll try it again, try to make it work. Otherwise we'll just back this up, put this on a slight rise and get it up a little bit easier, or a little bit higher. Would make life probably a little bit easier. Otherwise we're just gonna turn around and sky bridge this thing for now. Plenty of ways you can put legs under this if you want them in here. Whoa. Oh, I guess we're not on the ground anyways, just snapping us down every time we go down. Okay, so now here is where we can see if we can clear this and start our climb or not. Steel. That's what we want. We did get a link. Now can we get a clearance? No. No, we can't. Oh, we can if we curve. Not really, though. Yeah, it's just gonna keep us too low. Which, that's fine. No problem with that. We have a couple of optional ways to work around this. This would have just been super convenient and easy. We'll leave that there with the idea that we will probably be altering where that comes in. And then what we'll do is we'll just work from the top down and find out where we're going to be at height-wise. Make life easier rather than working harder. Alright, so, oops. Take back to the air. What we are going to do here is go in, grab. We're going to go with steel bridgework, bridge. Where's the bridge? Bridge, and we want the steel bridge. Steel bridge is nice if nothing else for just building, because it's always been easier to cut down trees underneath it. So one can always replace the bridge work. You know what? We can always replace it with other stuff. Let's just keep it simple in the process of the build. There we go. And then just in case we're going to bend it, we are going to end up bending it a little more. Oops. Oh, bummer. How far did we come out with that? Because we honestly didn't start going downhill. So this we gotta get rid of. It's a good thing we didn't just keep going. That's one of those you're like, whoops, totally forgot to turn around and start going downhill, which is probably not a bad idea as soon as possible on this one. So again, let's go find our middle bridge. We'll go there. We gotta get this down. Let's just go 3. We know we're gonna have to be somewhere in that ballpark. Right, then this will change how all this goes, of course. Okay, so we'll drop that something like in there. We'll run this down, find our next point of attaching. If only it worked this easy for them back in the day, I am sure they would have loved it. Alright, I think we'll go to there. We'll get rid of some of these trees. Oh, we have a rough idea where the heck we're going to be. Whoa. This is where I like the middle bridge, in case you have to get in and underneath it to get rid of some of the trees. Again, no harm in coming back and swapping it out with whatever Bridgework, you know, will reach that you like in the long run. Or wall work, whatever the case may be. Many times you get a tree stuck under the bridge that you can't get to when it's like the wood bridge, at least. Been down that road enough times. Alright, there we go, not too bad. Got most of them. And this is one of those, it's going to get wider pretty much every time we come up here, because we'll just be standing off the side cutting down more trees. It's typical how this one gets widened out, so we don't have to go too crazy, I guess. Back down to the bridge. Would have been nice if the steel bridge honestly was on top, but all depends on which one you like to use. So where I like to use that one, doesn't mean everybody does. Alright, let's see. We should be able to be much further over, so this might be one of those shorter pieces. Making sure we're back on the incline. try to get alongside the hill here without going up, you know, too long on the legs. That should put us okay there. What was that? Oh, the leg of the bridge. There, we're into the mountain. So we're going to have to bring that out this way. And then we're going to have to start swinging it. Just going to pretty much ride the 3% grade as much as possible, I think. And then if we have to get crazy somewhere over by the where they attach, we'll just do that. We want to aim for there. Kicker is there are options. I think we'll just go with that. Alright. Go back down here quick, clear out a few trees. Oops, we're not re-railing. Get rid of. See, that one's gone. It's just not going to pop out of there. Check it on the way back. Make sure it's gone. Too close for comfort. There we go. Putting down all the perfect Christmas tree tops. There is one. Are you out of there? There we go. Again, why I'd prefer to have the metal bridge. This one, too much of a question mark. That's just in the trestles. All this. Covering a fair bit of ground here. I remember when this run used to take, you know, you could spend 2 days or the better part of 2 days working on this. No, not really, but for this thing, for this run in the original, you know, with the original splines and all that, I know there's more than a few people out there that will say this was, you know, a 5-hour track laying venture to get up this hill, if not days worth, to actually get it to look nice and function properly. So again, the game way easier and smoother to play nowadays. We'll just get rid of those. Back at it. Target out there in the distance. Looking for steel bridge. There we go. Get that grade set right off the bat. That way we don't have any problems. Very easy to slap in a section without the grade. Alright. Hopefully things are going to work out for us here. It's not horrible. We are green to there, so that should let us short of the bend. Start getting that. We are gonna have to bend in here now. This part is one of those places where in here, you know, we're gonna throw out like, yeah, sure, we'd like to not bend it super sharp, but what it is in here is what it is. I think we could almost keep it like this and then start bringing it back. Might not actually be too horrible. feel like we could have gone a little further, but if we do, I feel like we're also going to turn around and just start getting way tighter than we want to be. So if we can pull it off here, I think we'll just try to do that. Everything seems to be working. Alright, we are on the right incline. Here we will swing back over. Cool. Still on the just 3%, not doing anything fancy where we don't need to. See, we are going to be up quite a bit higher, which probably means we're not going to have as many options in here, but it's okay. We have plenty of ground. See here, we're not going to be able to do squat. Okay, so let's get lined up. Where is this going to take us? That's where it's going to take us. Alright, we'll stretch this out as far as we can. Cool. And then we're just going to use the trestle across here. I think we'll go with the steel. Again, not doing anything fancy. We definitely could just double stack the other bridge here, but you know, I mean, honestly, nowadays they just give us this to do it with, so might as well use it. We definitely can come back and put in footings for these. I wonder if we even need this last one. We might be able to get rid of that one right there. And let's see. Nope. Go in, grab bridge. Wait, but we want bridge. We want bridge, not turntable. Steel bridge. Thank you. Sweet. We are gonna get it. And we're definitely going to be above where we were there, but we have a good idea where we're going to be, so we'll just pull. Why are you being a pain? Somewhere like in there is probably going to be more what I want. Get rid of that. There. Widen out this path just a little bit. Nice thing is, we will use that for a guide. Yeah, you can handle that. This is not even going to be super far to close the gap here, really. Steel. Oops. Alright. See, honestly, right in there. Okay. So wonder how that goes if we just straight up auto snap and then we take that metal. I don't know if we need the metal there. That's the question. We probably do need the metal there because that's just way too tall. Like the wood bridge is not going to reach right there. So if we leave it like that, we are actually hooked up and good to go. Now we got to check. Sure we don't have anything in the way here. Widen this out just a touch. And that'll be our first like legit real climb out. Good. Let's get that flipped over that way. Hopefully this will get us off of tier 2 and that'll let us start running our cordwood stuff going on down at the smelter. This of course will obviously get our mine up and running. Alright, let's just grab you, put you over here for now. Sweet. Let's ground ourselves. Save the game because one never knows how this goes, and since we just laid that, we definitely don't want to lay that again. So we will turn around and drop a save in there, as we are going to go in and try to buy some cars. And I'd be lying if I said the game never crashed on me in the process of buying cars, so one has to learn from that. Alright, tier 2. We are going to want to customize these just a bit. We will go numbers 1 through whatever they go to. Tier 2 cars is what they are. Paint, I think we'll go with the red. Kind of partial to that. We're going to need at least 4 of them. Be nice if we could move 6 of them. But I think with Betsy, we'll just keep it to 2 or to 4. I mean, that way we still have some money and aren't totally out of it. Alright, where'd our cars go? We got 1, we got 2. Check that out. They actually dropped in line. All right out in front of that. Actually dropped pretty well. Brakes probably all not in the order of some people's liking. Probably all in one direction though, if things go well. Oh, this is going to be interesting. At least it didn't flip off into the oblivion. People will remember the days back when you had something on a switch and that switch went, say goodbye. Luckily, that does not happen. At least I haven't had it happen for a very long time, so that's cool. We're going to try to jump in this here. Betsy. Alright, let's see if we can gather this stuff up quick. Still hanging on it. There is a weird one. When you hook up into cars nowadays, obviously you saw we were going backwards. You'd think we'd just keep rolling backwards. You don't. Sometimes, I don't even know if it's all the time. We'll find out if it's right here. Yeah, bam. Did it again. So there you go. Obviously, we know we just took the brakes off of everything. And that's what you get. Will cause you to have some derailing problems. And now on that one, it didn't do it. Last one, it did. So, there you go. Not always a thing, sometimes a thing. Don't know. Alright. We got a little bit of wood in there. We are going to try to do 2 and 2. So we'll throw those on the back. Perfect. Get those going. So much easier nowadays. There we go. Start that swinging. No. Alright, we'll get that swinging. And then we'll get that one swinging. Oh, shoot. Wrong button. There you go. Do not unload that way. Spacebar probably would have been better to hit than enter there. That was totally just my fault. Nothing wrong with what was going on. I was trying to swing the crane a little faster. I'd love to say that's the first one and only time that that's happened, but that'd be a total lie. Why is our train going backward? What? Not sure why our train started getting moved backwards. This should be pretty flat. Oh, that all would have gone on the ground because it didn't say firebox. Doesn't say firebox, you're wasting the wood. Again, not the first and won't be the last time that happens. Alright, roll this out. Let's go ahead and throw some steam around for fun. Alright, little loco headed down the rails. Get back up here. Flip this so we actually go the direction we want. There we go. That would have been an auto flip, wouldn't matter. And the switched on way down there. We're good. Make sure everything comes across. Crossover switches and all that. And we are on the road. Heads up, look out, move, jack, get out the way, all that stuff. We are coming out. Hopefully we can actually get all four of these up the hill with Betsy. That will be the goal. Otherwise, obviously, we will be picking up another locomotive. So we'll turn around, jump out. Look, we have 2,700 left. Not a lot. Would really rather not have to run these to the depot. If we can get them up the hill, that'd be great. Obviously, we would like to be running more than 4 cars, but if we don't have to run any extra loads to the depot and we can start delivering in process, that would be, you know, the ideal situation. So hopefully we get that. One never knows exactly how much Betsy is going to cover. Use a look at the bridge. That came out all right. Cannot complain there. It's all coming through decent, nice and simple. Plenty of room here in the valley to do more things if the person wants to put on a holding here for a helper or any of the rest of that. And with as steep as we're coming out of the smelter, we may very well need to do that. Put in a holding rail there for some sort of booster locomotive. It's going to take a lot to get up that hill, that's for sure. Hopefully we make a little bit of money and a little bit of XP by the time we get that far. They're actually bringing stuff up out of there. Alright. We do hit the curve here. Out on new rail. Once we hit the curve, we're going to start kind of climbing, so we are going to start slamming up on the reverser there. Looks like we're getting a little bit of rain here. Nothing like having wet rail for the ride up the hill. Luckily, that does not actually affect things, so. But, there you go. Actually, at this point, it's not even taking all it's got to pull it, so should be doing okay, but we definitely know we're hitting into the grade here, so we'll just hit it. Doesn't sound positive, actually. Sounds really negative. So if we aren't going to make it up this, you wouldn't even think these are inclined. Maybe these do run at an incline. either way, it's gonna bog down, so it's definitely not gonna make it up the hill with 4 of these. That's gonna be a major disappointment. There's no way we have brakes on. I know we got them all off. We're gonna check, obviously, so that is not a question. Alright, Betsy just not gonna do this on its own. 4 cars are gonna be too much. So our debate is, oops, not the bell. Get off of there. We gotta go into the buy menu. Big question is, what do we buy? 2,500? 2,500? Takes away your cursor half the time. Looks like a Mason bogey. 34. Well, I guess if we just do one of these, we could always run 2. Headlight 2, number 2. Name. Backup. This one won't be around long at all. We probably won't do that. What are we gonna do? We'll just go. We'll just run that. Headlight quantity, sure, yep, buy, cool. Now, oh, now the question is, where did it put our loco? Right there. Okay, so that's not too bad. Cool, of course we're here in the rain. At least we knew this was going to be a possibility, so not that worried about it. At least it's going to double our pulling power and give us a little bit more wood in the process. Which, not going to complain about that either. Alright, get all that in there. Cool. Gonna have to let this one warm up a bit. It's always a possibility that you run into this problem. At least now we have a headlight and a little more oomph. Not a very good headlight, let's be honest, but a headlight is always good. Nice thing is, with the multi-unit, this will all stack out nice and easy. Shouldn't be a big deal. Go back, check the wood up here. Oh, we have plenty. Be interesting to see if we're actually going to be able to get this thing up and moving. Ooh. As the storm sets in. Maybe if we'd used the sand. I only say that jokingly. Would not have made a difference. Halfway to warm it up. Getting there, getting there, getting there. At least the fire is nice and hot at this point. Water coming up fast. Not too bad for the fire up of a new logo. Number 2 and Betsy. At least now this is actually capable of doing. It should be capable of doing. So, and we can always find a use for porters around the rail. Really close to building steam now. Right around the 210 mark. We're going to start to see that coming. which should be going somewhere. Wow, it kind of took a minute. But getting there, getting there, getting there. What are you going to do? Betsy gave it all its effort. I'm surprised that that bridge actually, like, is inclined. Because you would have thought that it had got on the bridge and the bridge would have been flat and it would have picked up a little bit of speed. But that didn't happen, so it is what it is. Alright, and this logo, good, brakes, good. I suppose it doesn't give you the readout from the other logo. When you switch, that's okay. We are up in our pilot logo now. I honestly, Porter Type 2, Porter Type 1, not sure. Everybody's obviously got their preferred pick there. I am a Porter Type 2. I definitely like having the the wood stack on the back, the light options, and the black over the wood. You know, obviously, have a preference there. Pipe that in. Alright, let's see if... Oh, because we actually have the regulator on the whole time, which is why we're not building up pressure super fast. There you go. That explains a lot. Look at this point. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should just let it build before... Let's not get dumb. This might be a big ask, actually, even though we have two porters here. Everything should be good there. I mean, it's like pulling up 2 cars per loco, you would think, right? That they got that in them. Alright, here we go. Plenty going on. Let's hit that and chop those. There we go. Plenty of oomph in there. Plenty of traction. Gonna get this thing up and moving. Again, this is where the multi-unit, another add to the game, gonna make things much easier, much cheaper. I mean, heck, we'll probably just run the double. Uh-oh. Whoa. There's one where before running a double header, but there's no way we'd actually got that done. Got it stopped by that, I mean. We'd have crashed into those trees for sure. Improvements. We obviously missed a few trees here. Not that many, but definitely a few. We'd have hit these. What the hay just happened? Okay. That. Let's just go now. Now we want to move. Close the camera on the curve there and just never look back. Are we good? What is that? That's not a tree. We're good. I think we'll risk it. Yeah, I do have to say that's much nicer actually having the light on the locomotive. Yeah. That just actually looks nicer too. We don't need to cut wood anymore, I have to say. Like that locomotive. Porter Type 2 is a good looking locomotive for being a little one, that's for sure. Alright, let's jump into the loco there, hit the regulator so we don't slide backwards, and let it go. There we go. Double whistle sounded and looking good. Chugging up the hill. Sometimes one locomotive is just not enough. And when you're going to go early on and you're going to go steep, that's just part of what you're going to have to deal with. I guess this isn't particularly steep at 3%, but, you know, it is what it is. Betsy obviously not really for the inclines or anything, especially on its own. But picking up another one. Oh, no. There we go. Missing a few more. You know, you have to thank the devs for putting in the multi-unit function. That's one, I don't know how many people saw that coming. I obviously did not see the multi-unit function coming, so it was kind of pleasantly surprised, I guess, when it showed up. And it, for those who don't think it ever pays off, well, I have to disagree. It does pay off from time to time, for sure. That would have probably been 2 derails, at least for me today. Calling it lucky. We'll take it. Yeah, back to it. You know, having two porters. Porter's cheap enough, so throwing another one in there, obviously not super expensive. I mean, would that cost $2,000, $2,500, something like that? And obviously, it's going to give us the power to actually get things done. So I would think we'll be able to add another car probably in here, maybe 2 more. Definitely try it. Mini multi-unit is what this is. Sometimes I guess it's not all about throwing the big ones together to get a ton of power. Sometimes just, you know, the little ones to get it done. Scraping by. Kind of fun though. Making it work. I don't think we're adding 2 more cars actually. It's taken the juice out of the 2 locomotives just to get it moving up the hill. So that is kind of what it is. Not really flying along, but getting the job done. So that's what we're concerned with for now. Sad day that you can't turn around and sell the locomotives. If we could have sold the locomotives, probably would have just sold this one, bought a Mason Bogey. But again, trying to avoid running extra loads to the depot. So if you just want to go straight from industry to industry, this is kind of where we're at. We made as much money as we could, where we could, and are spending it as we need to at this point. But this will get us moving along. This one, sadly, we do not really have. You can turn around and put a sawmill up here right next to this mine. If you turn around and build, you know, you can build mall work or Bridgework, whatever, out here, and then put the industries on top and fill that in if you want to without running loads. But honestly, it's a bigger headache to me than I find it to be worth. So this one, we're just going to actually have to run some loads up here to get this going, which is just what it's going to be. Bit of a hassle, but this is part where we're going to have to actually run. You know, it's not really a hassle, it's just playing the game. So things running in here fine. We're not going to bother trying to slow down or anything else until we need to. Take care of that. Let this one roll. That'll take care of that. And then we'll end up just backing this out. Oops. Backing this out, running back and forth a few times. Obviously, we haven't taken out the rail that way down the hill yet, so there's no kind of round trip running in here for now. So this is just going to be a back and forth, but we can start getting this built up. Obviously, it's going to move us past here too pretty quick, but we are going to have to at least get some stuff moved up here. Going to be a lot of loads doing it. Not going to get that in today for sure. With we got the build and the first run up here and the buys in there. So yeah, I think with that one we're gonna call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.